Hello and welcome to Marineford TCG. Today I've been playing some games with the new starter deck. This comes out in about 2 weeks. The release date of this is actually the same day as the pre-releases for set 10. That's March 14th. So just 2 weeks. And this deck, surprisingly good. I will say for free, the Doflamingo matchup is horrific. Mostly just because of lore bouncing this and Jozu bouncing this. Ban lore, man. Please, Bandai. But outside of your Doflamingo matchup, the aggression that this deck has is wild. I'm going to go over all the cards. If you want to skip to just the gameplay, timestamps are in the description. Make sure you check those out. So, Luffy is a new leader, mono red, and it's a spiritual successor to the starter deck 1 leader. On X1, you can activate main, give one of your characters 2 rested Don. Really good value. You get so much value out of your Don. There have been turns where with this deck where I will play out a guy and run out of rested Don to get max value. It's bananas. So the new cards we got from this starter deck, the biggest one honestly is this Zoro. This Zoro is incredible. 4/5, 1k counter, Don X2, this character gains rush. So 6/7 rush with counter. That's immediately miles better than that red Sanji that came out in starter deck 10. And on KO, that's by battle or effects, you can play a red character with 6,000 power or less other than Zoro from your hand. So we're not playing any other Zoros in our deck, and the only characters we've got with more than 6,000 power are a couple of copies of Beckman for a bit of spot removal here and there, and Dragon, who's our boss monster. So the best thing that you can summon with this is this new Luffy, and he's awesome. He is a 5/6 rush that when attacking, you give 1 rested Don card to your leader or character. So on 5, if you've got something on the board, say you played out this Sanji on 3, that's the Sanji from OP10, you can play this, use his when attacking to put a Don on your leader, that you swung 6, then with your leader effect, you can swing 6, then with your leader effect you can put 2 more rested Don on this Sanji and swing 8. You've swung 6, 6, 8 on your 5 Don turn. It's just nuts. And this is reasonably hard to take out, and like I said, one of the best targets that you can summon off this Zoro. In terms of other new cards out of this starter deck, we've got this Sanji. He's like a new version of Diablo Jam, and it's a 2k, brilliant. Stats, not great, but you're using this for the effect. On play, you choose one of your Straw Hat Crew characters with 6,000 power or more, and they become unblockable. So this is just Jambay, that's a 2k. It costs 1 more, and only chooses characters, cannot target your leader, which is a little bit of a shame, but I think it's still much better than Jambay, fulfills 2 roles in 1. And the other new card is Gun Gun Mold Gun. You might have seen this if you've seen my Red Green Smoker video. This is great. 4 Don, KO 7. If you've got like a reasonable board set up, firstly, congratulations, you've won the game. But secondly, you can use this to remove a dude, and then use some combination of your leader effect, this Luffy, and this Nami that we'll go over in a minute, to basically mean this is free because you get to use all the rested Don to attack anyway. It's crazy. Really good card. Important for getting rid of a lot of 7k or 6k blockers. The film Luffy was one that came up. 5-cost Kid, 5-cost Sangoro is another great target for this, denying that draw. And of course, any other 7k power unit you can think of. So, old cards. 4 Nami Searchers, because we are predominantly a Straw Hat deck. 4 Makino, because we have 2 1-costs that we love to play down. And Makino just getting you that extra aggression, whilst being a 2k when you don't need her. Great. 4 Dragon, Boss Monster, gives 2 rested Don to your leader, and then your leader can use his leader effect. So on 8, you can swing 7-11, or 7-9, and then sum around with whatever other units you've got on board if you put your leader effect on something that's not Dragon. 3 Rayleigh, he's okay. You need some blockers sometimes, and you need extra targets to play off of this. And he can draw you a couple cards in your opponent's turn even, so he's pretty cool. 2 Ben, this is a flex spot. If you want to play something else that's not Ben, you very much could. You could try the 8-cost Rayleigh, that's not bad. I've tried Roger. I was finding that it just wasn't very good. Between this Sanji for unblockable and this Luffy for unblockable, the Roger wasn't really coming up much, so I swapped him out for a couple Bens. Ben's been okay. You could put in more of this Luffy. You could maybe put in a Rad Beam, 4th copy of Rayleigh. You got choices in this slot. For this Sanji, great play on 3, gives you a crazy turn on 5, and when he dies, you get to draw a card. What's not to love? The problem that red decks often face is running out of cards, and between this and the Zoro, you just don't run out of gas as much as other red decks have in the past. 4, Chopper Blocker, 2k Blocker, a good target to summon off of your Zoro, it's Straw Hat searchable, great card. 6A Blocker for just 4, brilliant, sometimes that's just what you need, and sometimes you're just playing this out to have the 4 rested Don. Now this is a really weird one. I was skeptical about this Sanji, he's really good. 2-4, Don X2, this character gains Rush. This is from starter deck 1, so you might not even have these. And this is really good on 3. On 3, you can play this out, put the remaining Don on your leader. Swing 6, use your leader effect to put the 2 rested Don that you used to pay for Sanji on Sanji. Swing 6. And you've swung 6-6 on 3. That's just one step up from what red decks have been doing in the past with the 3-5 Zoro. Swinging 5-5 on 3 has always been a great play. But now you can swing 6-6 and that just demands those 2Ks. If you can get the 2Ks out early, they haven't got them later on. 4 of the 1-cost Nami. This is a really important card in this deck. Gives you even more value out of your Don. And we really do need as much value as we can get to compete with the more meta leaders. Of course, into black, this card is basically useless. But if they're removing this, they're not removing something more impactful. So, not too bad. This generally sticks around most of the game against other decks. Because they're more focused on removing units like Luffy or Sanji to have time to deal with this Nami. So you'll quite regularly get sort of 4, 5, 6 Dons worth of value out of her. And that's just what you need in a deck like this. And 2 of the Rush Luffy from the original starter deck 1. Now, you don't need this artwork, you can just go with the regular one you can see in the deck. Really good card. Unblockable at the end of the game, this is a win con in and of itself. And you can also summon it off of the Zoro. And to round out the list, 2 copies of Bad Manners because we have a lot of bricks. So, matchups. Sophie is bad. I would also say that Black Lucci is bad. And Enel is not great. Outside of those, we're kind of eating. In set 10, Blackbeard looks to be one of the most popular decks. And this has a very reasonable Blackbeard matchup. I would say Blackbeard is possibly our best matchup across the board, which is great. I also think this deck's Usopp matchup is slightly favourable. They don't have great ways to deal with your stuff, especially if you're able to go first. Going first into Usopp is just nuts, because you get to play just that one turn earlier, deny them that Kyros, which is the card that is really good for them, for one more turn. Also, them being a 4-life leader is kind of tough. Red-Green Smoker is another new deck cap OP10. I think you're pretty reasonable to that. And also Yellow Kid, they're just really slow. They can trash your life, but they're not going to aggress us out of the game. They're going to be playing catch-up by playing Board Police, and that's not really what Yellow Kid likes to do. He likes to be in the driving seat a lot of the time. So I think our matchment to that is pretty good. Purple Luffy can absolutely go either way, but especially if you can get first into them, I think that matchup's pretty good. We're just so fast. It's really hard for them to deal with our stuff. And we have the Mole Gun to deal with some of their stuff, as well as the Ben. All other decks are relevant. BY. I think this deck's BY matchup is very reasonable too. We're so fast, and we have units that are hard for them to deal with. All these 5 costs are outside the range of Egghead Luffy. Zoro, if it dies, it brings in something scarier. Sanji draws us a card. We've got lots of unblockable, so if we can get them to 0, we're in the money. I think that matchup is also pretty reasonable. The main decks you've got to watch out for are Doflamingo and Lucci, in my opinion. Other than that, I think we're pretty good. Anyway, that's more than enough waffling. I hope you enjoy these games. Got to get into BY Luffy. They like to go second, but I low-key kind of like to go first. I'm going to take second off him, though. No. That's really good. That's like the dream. That is pretty much the dream. We've got the 2 Namis. We've got the Zoro for 4. We can give the Zoro rush. Looking pretty good. Wow, and he Makinos. He's playing aggressive into the aggro deck. I don't know how much I like that one, sir. I'm not sure how much I like that one. Especially we're going to get extra value out of our Dons everywhere. It's going to be brilliant. He does reorder his life. Fine. Do this. This Luffy's going to be pretty good, right? Yeah, that Luffy's going to be good. We'll deploy this, end the turn. Nothing too crazy. It's also nice that this Makino has 0 power, so it can't attack into these. He wants to use a baby to go to 7 already. Okay, uses the event, grabs a baby Luffy. Surely we don't use a baby already. That would be a little crazy, man. That would be a little crazy. No, just going to swing 7. I think that's smart. We'll take, though. Sanji's alright. Definitely going to be playing out the Zoro, though. We're going to aggress him. If we can get him down to 0 already, I mean, brilliant, right? Brilliant. Egghead trigger is real, right? Yeah, I'm more worried about Egghead trigger than I am about anything else. So we're going to go 7 first, get the value. Then we'll attack with a 6. We're going to go down to 1. Do you want to give us a 2k? Neither sounds particularly appealing to me. Okay, give us a Makino. Interesting, a lot of them aren't even playing that many Makinos at the minute. So it's interesting that this guy is. Okay, Luffy, Egghead edition. Sure, comes out. 7k leader. Not bad. He knows what these lives are because of his Makino. That's why he chose to defend this life in particular, I suppose. He can pop our Zoro, draw a card. We get summon something better. So, I don't know how good that actually is. It's going to depend on what he can do with the rest of his turn. Sure. Definitely going to summon this one. This one's really nice. Big fan of him. Like, he can go to 9, and then we can't really attack into him. But he'd need to have another one of the correct baby of whatever this is, and it be a brother. And then he can't heal, so maybe we just win? Even? Okay, we're not doing that. We're going to go big. Yeah, I'll take that one. That's no worries. Sanji. I think we're going to play out this Luffy. That's 5. When we can swing twice into his face. Yeah, we can swing three times, right? Because the Nami can put 1 on leader. Use the spare Don on leader. That's 7. The leader can put 2 on this to make it 8. And this can put 1 on itself to make it 7. Yeah, we can swing 3 times. We can get 2 cards out of him. And get him to 0, probably. Which is reasonable. And hopefully, keep this on the board. So let's start with just a 7. He's got to counter this one. In my opinion. In my opinion. And he does. Gives us a brother. Arrested Don here. Then we'll do another 7. No trigger that can get us, I guess, finger gun. But that's not real. They're on Rygo mostly now, right? Takes that. Looks like it was a trigger. Don't be finger gun. If it's Rygo, I guess he can kill the Nami. Which would suck. And it is Rygo. He kills the other Nami. I mean, I guess Makino's real, but like... I don't know. I don't think that's right. And then I'll have a 2k off you, please, sir. Thank you very much. End the turn. Now he's got 6 cards. He's going to need many brothers. The only one we've seen is this baby Luffy. And that's now in the trash. So, obviously, nowhere near Moria. Can't even Moria next turn. Egghead Luffy doesn't pop anything other than this Nami. And I mean, popping the Nami is fine, but it can't kill our attackers, which is the main thing. This guy in particular is obnoxious for him to deal with, because he relies on Sabo blockers. Double Dons on leader. Makes a lot of sense. He can do double brothers if he has the combos. Ditches a Raigo. That makes sense to me. Then what are we going with? But no blockers. It's just going to be Luffy. Or something from hand, maybe. Going to be Luffy. Does he have any Luffys in his hand? Next question. I guess he could just swing like 12 into one of these, but that's not great, right? I think he needs at least one Luffy in his hand to have any chance of staying in this game. Wow. Okay, that is not Luffy, that is Kuzan. Okay, I think we should have this because we can defend these. And these cards will go to bot deck, which is just incredible. Into 6, yeah, we're not letting that go through, my man. You can have this Rayleigh. I mean, you can have this Chopper. Very nice. So for us to get rested Dons, we need to play something. We have 4 for free on board. So we can play this Chopper for literally no cost, which is quite fun. So let's do that. Then we'll put 1 rested Don on leader. Let's attack for 7. Put 1 more on leader. Counters out of that. Wow, okay, that is interesting. We want to spread wide now. So we're going to play Sanji, not Makino. So Sanji's going to swing for 6. We're going to have 1 more Don. We can swing 6, 7, 7. That's reasonable. We'll swing 6 with this first. Give him the least info possible. Sends that to the bottom. And 7. One more 7. Can you counter? Like, even if you can, it just doesn't matter. Like, we've won the game, right? Yeah. He had 2k. So he could have countered the 6, but, I mean, it didn't matter. He was losing both the lives. He'd had a Raigo and a Flamp in hand. The jig is up. So, really nice, quick win there against the BY Luffy. That was a fun one. It's able to aggress him down. I think the Makino on 1, knowing that we're an aggro deck, is probably a big mistake. I know it let him get that Luffy off on that 1 turn to go to 7k. Is it really worth it? I'm not sure. Also, he killed our Zoro, didn't he? You, like, can't kill the Zoro unless you have Kuzan on board and follow up Egghead to remove whatever we summon off Zoro. If you don't have that, you just don't kill this, because whatever comes out of Zoro is better than Zoro. But hey, that was a fun one. Just shows even BY can be taken down by this much aggression. Next game we've got into Blackbeard. I'm going to go first because I like to. Not amazing. Let's mulligan that. This is looking a little better. The 4-cost Zoro is going to be really nice if they KO it. With something that's not Black Hole, we can summon the Luffy. Pretty good. Definitely not the craziest hand. But the Dragon will be nice later on. Ooh, that's a hot draw. That is a hot draw. Right, let's go 6 to 5. And then we'll play out Sanji. 6 to 5. Demand 2 cards already. This should be one of our best matchups, Blackbeard. Watch me get destroyed, but Yeah, this should be a very favourable matchup from what I'm thinking. He's going to give us a 2k there. We get a Shiryu. No doubt he'll be attacking into the Sanji. You'd have to think. Luffy going to do his search. See what he grabs off that. Can't play an event, so he does need to attack the Sanji specifically. Van Augur. Hachinosu ditches Doc Q, grabs Shiryu. Nice 2k there for him. Not bad. Bad. We're going to see 6. I could counter this one, but honestly, we could, honestly. Not that bad. No, we'll just let it go. Because next turn our plan is set out for us anyway with the Zoro. Sanji's not bad. That will be maybe in the turn after next. Let's destroy the feats. We can't let him exist. Deploy Zoro. Arrested Don. Back in. We do know he has that Van Augur, but if he wants to do Van Augur Doc Q, we get to summon a Luffy, which is very reasonable. This is my age trigger. Grabs a Vasco shot. That's slightly annoying, but it is what it is. So what we do next turn very much can depend on what our opponent does. Does he use his Black Hole ability? If not, Ben Beckman is very reasonable. We can Ben Beckman, remove something. Probably Van Augur. That's going to cost him a lot to replace. If he goes with the Van Augur route, the best play he's got is Black Hole, in my opinion. 6 into 5. Is this Finger Gun? Because we can let this happen and summon the Luffy. But then if he has Finger Gun, we get kind of screwed. If it's Black Hole or just Van Augur, then we're best off. I think we're best off countering this. This could go either way. This could very much go either way. Because if this is Black Hole, we get kind of screwed. It's Van Augur Doc Q. That's fine. We can bring in our Luffy. Is he going to use his leader effect? You wouldn't think so, given that all our guys are just doing rush, pretty much. Going to ditch the Vasco shot, grab a stronger. He does use his leader effect. That's interesting. I'm not sure about that. So we have this. We can do 7 with Luffy. That can apply 1 to here. Yeah, so I think we're a pretty decent spot here. We're just going to pile everything at face and aim for a win in the next couple of turns before he can get his Blackbeards down. We don't have Arrested Don. I needed to play my guy first. Oops. Never mind. Still swing 777. Only loses us 1 Don. Do another 7. We'll probably get him down to 1 and eat 2 cards here. He's not going to want to go down to 0 quite yet, I wouldn't have thought. Yep, very nice. And we do know he still has that stronger, because he's given us all 4 Shiryus. Only 1 stronger is in his hand. Dragon next turn is going to be really good. Big fan of that. With any luck, we'll be able to save one of these, but I kind of doubt it. Yep, that clears that. Unfortunately, we have nothing to summon off of this as well, which is not ideal. He has Black Hole anyway. That's fine. Does he have Vasco's shot? That's the big thing, I think. Hachinosu trashing Ice Age. Grabs another 2k, so we know he has 2 strongers in his hand, which is pretty good. Then we'll see what he does with these 3 Don. Yep, we'll take that. No trigger. Is he going to use his leader effect? He does use his leader effect. It's very interesting. I don't know, that's a strange one. That is strange. Either way, we're going with Dragon here. We're going to be doing 6-11, which is just massive. Then he's going to teach, freeze our dragon. Then on the next turn, we play Zoro and just go for game, splits. Seems reasonable. Yeah, seems reasonable. Bro, it's a shame we only get to do 6 here. If we could do more than 6, if we could do even 7, it would be amazing. We know his hand is stronger, presumably teach, right? We ever play the Zoro first? Maybe we do the Zoro first and do the dragon next turn. I think so. Yeah, I think we do the Zoro first. So that's going to be 7. So this is 8. And that leaves 6 dons. So that can be 9. Yeah, we can't quite make them both 9, but we can do 8, 9, which is pretty good. Let's do 8 first. We know he has 2 2Ks. Does counter out. So in that case, I'm going to play out... Is there any point playing out the Makino? I can play the Makino if he uses the dot Q thing, right? Yeah. Do 9 on 5, get him to 0. What was this trigger? Who knows? Probably some kind of event. Then next turn, Dragon should just be game. Yeah, it was Liberation. Ditches Liberation with a Hashinosu. Grabs Jesus Burgess. That's a nice one to know he has. There's only 2 2Ks left in his entire deck. We've seen all 4 Shiryus and 2 Strongers. We'll play this. Why not? It's not a very powerful character, but it's a character nonetheless. Teach gonna deny Makino from attacking. That's quite funny. But then we just split with the dragon, and that's gonna be the game. 9-11. He cannot possibly win. Well played to our opponent. If he'd used his leader effect there, because he only has 1Ks, it wouldn't have helped him. Like I say, Teach, one of our very best matchups, but worth showing nonetheless. If you're still enjoying this video, do consider liking and subscribing. It really helps me out, and you'll get more videos in your feed. We're going to Usopp. He's going first. I like Zoro, but I really like Zoro in combination with the Nami, the one-drop Don Nami, so I'm going to mulligan. Okay, it's not bad. I'm a fan of this. We've got Nami. We've got Nami. Leo comes down. Usopp's having a good game. Looks like. When they get the Leo, it's always sunshine and roses from there. Looking for that stage, no doubt. The 4-cost Zoro. One of the best cards in this matchup. Frankie's very good too. Frankie and Corridor. Yeah, definitely don't need that red rock. Our guys are way too small for that. Let's deploy this. Don't mind this for later. The mole gun's also decent. I'm going to grab this though. Then we'll deploy this and end the turn. So hopefully either off the life or the draw we get that 4-cost Zoro. That's going to be the card that I'm looking for the most. He's just going to be doing more searches. Maybe play out an Adeo this turn. If he has it. But getting that Corridor Coliseum down is very important for Usopp. It's probably the most important card in the deck. Which is kind of crazy because it's not even in the set. Yep, we're going to take this one. No trigger. Makino's pretty good though. And we could go with that this turn. Get a little bit of extra aggression. Leo search. Grabs Frankie and Barto. Okay, none of his combo pieces for his Rebecca combos, and no Zoros. So, not sure what that means. Mean he doesn't have it? Possibly. Hopefully. That'd be awesome. What did he trash? Trashed a Cavendish. That's a pretty good card, actually. Why does he trash that one? I think I will attack, because we can put the Makino buff on the Nami. and then put the leader thing on it as well. Make it a 7. I will potentially have to attack out of sequence here, which is a little awkward. To play around a trigger on my Sanji. I really don't want this to get Red Rock triggered. I think we will attack out of sequence. No, we need to do everything in... Yeah. We have to risk the Sanji. We just have to risk the Sanji. It sucks, but it is what it is. Put Arrested Don here. Deploy this. Just this. Yeah, it's going to be... I'm going to attack with this first. I'm not risking this getting triggered. If he gets a trigger and kills our Sanji, it would really suck. But because we need all the Don to be rested at max value, we have to attack like this. And he'll probably give us that Barto now. We know he has the Barto. Okay, Soldier, giving us a little more information about his hand. That's fine. Barto is a blocker, so he might choose to play that this turn if he doesn't have Zoro. Yep. Had to sniff. Lovely cup. Yeah, the card we don't want him to have is the 4-cost Zoro, because that can remove our Sanji from play. Which would not be ideal, obviously. We're going to be taking this, no trigger. Looks like it is going to be Zoro. Okay, just Cavendish. That's a little better for us, you know. That is a little better. So we're going to be going with this Luffy here. And we're just going to be aiming to maximize our attacks as much as possible. We're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 extra Dons. Can we swing 7s? We can do 7 here. Nami can put 1 here. Put 2 there. Yeah, so we can do like 7, 7, 8, which is really good. Let's start with 7. And we've got a decent amount of counter as well. All these Rayleigh blockers. That's Rayleigh, not Israeli. Sounded a little bit like I was talking about Israeli blockers. We'll deploy this here. Then put Arrested Don on leader. Put 2 Arrested Don on Luffy. Back in. 8 on 5. Give Arrested Don to lead. And we're doing another 7. So much pressure. So much pressure. It's crazy. He's got to take this. If he counters, he's not going to have a Rebecca combo. Oh, okay. Interesting. I think he has 1 more Frankie in his hand as well, right? End the turn. The next turn we're going to 8 Dragon. Very appealing. We can do something like 8 11, which is just ridiculous. That's if none of our guys survive, right? Which, this is not going to survive. Here's the Cavendish draw. I guess he can maybe use this to show up his Rebecca combo. Which is a 1-cost Rebecca. I believe he still has... that might have been the Barto. I think he still has a Frankie in his hand, but that's about it. Oh, yeah, we're going to let that go. Ooh, there's the Zoro. That's a nice one. That's a really good one. Sorry, just battling off a bit of a cold at the minute. 5. It's going to be Kairos, right? Yeah, this is going to be Kairos. Or Rebecca Kairos, of course. Despite having 2 cards in his hand at the start of the turn, he has got a Rebecca combo. Which I'm not thrilled about. Okay, it's not Kairos, though. That's big. It's just Frankie. Amazing. And a Barto. Incredible. He's got fuck all cards as well. That's mega. I think we're playing board this turn. Because he just can't defend. We can't use the Makino if we use the Dragon. So we probably use the Zoro. Because we do want the Nami to destroy the Barto, right? Yeah. Yeah, I think so. What's going to be the best way to go about this? Probably this is going to... So this is going to put one here. This is going to put two here. We do want to get rid of this Cavendish, desperately. I'm tempted to go 8. Let's go with the Zoro first. Let's deploy him. No, not doing that. I think I'm going to go 8 into Cavendish, put 1 on Luffy. Try and get rid of this. If he wants to block the Frankie, that's fine. He's perfectly entitled to. But this is drawing in cards. And he's got 2 in hand. And let it go. Okie dokie. Very nice. Now, let's go 7 with Zoro. I think we've got this one. It's looking very good. It is looking very good. He's going to end up with a blocker. No doubt. There is a Barto in here that he can summon. He's going to use his Frankie. Doesn't get to draw a card because he's already drawn one. We will use the Makino Nami, I think, to get rid of this Barto. Do we want to get rid of both Bartos? Or just put pressure on face? I don't hate getting rid of both, honestly. Yeah, I don't hate getting rid of both. This is at 4. Have we used this yet? Yeah, we have. What's this at? 4, 5? Yeah, 5 into 3 should get it. Let's just clear him out. Just clear him out. So that he can't draw a card next turn if he doesn't have another blocker. I probably could have pushed all that at life after the Cavendish went down. I do think getting rid of the Cavendish was worth it. Just to deny him the draws. Because, like, he's going to struggle to take out either of these. He doesn't want to take out this. This is at 6. He can probably take out both of these. The Rebecca and the Leo. We can get rid of Makino and Nami. Then from there, it's just going to depend on what these 4 cards are. If he's got Kiros, we could be in a pickle. But he did have it last turn. And he's only drawn, what, like 1 card? 2 cards? Because we didn't give him any life. Yep, you can have that. Not defending the Makino. Probably not defending the Nami either. Presuming Rebecca is just going to attack into that. We might defend this if it's reasonable to. But this Zoro should survive, because if he kills it, we get something better. We get a Cavendish. Sorry, a Rayleigh. Speaking of Cavendish, here he comes. This could be pretty good in VV, right? Also not a supernova, which is interesting. Isn't Cavendish considered a supernova? You tell me. Lovely cupboard. This has got to be some kind of blocker, right? Ooh, Suleiman. I've been thinking about using this card. Pretty cool. Give -2 cost, then mill 1. I mean, I'm not sure what it's doing right now. Unless he's got, like, Hound Blaze. That would be pretty sick. But then he'd have no cards in hand. 6 on 6, yeah, that's not going through, I'm afraid. No chance. Is this Hound... No, because this is a 3 cost. Hound Blaze only hits a 2. What was the point of this? You just used 3 Don to do nothing, right? Unless I'm losing my marbles. Very possible. Are we not swinging with leader? Like, this is cute, but why? Why are we doing this? Everything's gonna live, and I just play Dragon and win, right? I don't know. There's strange swings from our opponent here. I don't think it made the greatest amount of difference. I think we had this game regardless. But maybe he just wanted to show off the Suleiman. There's no reason not to counter this just on the off chance, right? Yeah, sure. Deploy this. 2 here. 2 here. Attack in for 7. This is our lowest character. This one can get triggered by Red Rock. This only gets triggered by, excuse me, Raging Tiger. Does have counter for that, okay. Well, let's just do 7. This is guaranteed. Then we're not quite guaranteed the win, in fairness. We do have 8-10, though it's very reasonable for us to get there. How many 2Ks have we seen? 1, 2... Lots, right? You counter an 8 with 2 cards, I mean, fair play. So that's going to be the win, unless this is some kind of crazy trigger. I don't think there's anything that can trigger and get rid of an 8 cost in blue or black. They don't have beige. They don't have Fire-Fist Pistol Red Hawk. It was a Raging Tiger trigger, so there's another reason you need to do your swings in the right order. But there's 10 on 5, and that's going to be the game. Well played to our opponent. That was a little bit of a tricky one. I think potentially instead of that turn where I played the board after I killed the Cavendish, I should have just gone everything at face and leaned into this Luffy. However, this worked too. I think with him having so few cards in hand, there were not many options for him to draw out of it, but potentially if we just leaned into the Luffy, there'd have been no options. So it might have been better. Can you just click resolve, please? This is cringe. This is cringe. Is he typing an essay on how he would have won if he'd drawn Kairos? Maybe. No. 2 Zoros. I mean, Zoro's pretty good, but if your targets are the 4-cost Zoro, but you don't want a KO, you want a rematch? Sure, why not? He went first, right? So I hope maybe he'll give us first this time. Doubtful. He's going first again. No worries. No worries. I love it. This is better. Gets his Corridor Coliseum. There we go. This is looking pretty hot. Can't lie. Cannot lie. I'm going to grab this so we've got something to play off of this. Yes. Like the ideal open, honestly, one of each of these Namis, especially this one, the Treasure Rare, is really good. See what Rebecca grabs, Mills, that will be quite interesting. Grabs Bot and Lomeo, ditching another Rebecca that he can't grab, and a Red Rock, seems sensible to me. We will be taking this one, no trigger. Looking good. I'm going to deploy this. 1 Don here. 2 Dons here. I'm going to swing with this first, even though it's out of sequence. Because No, I'm not. It's like the debate of, do I play around a Raging Tiger trigger on the first swing? Like, if he takes the 6 and triggers Raging Tiger, it sucks, but it's not the end of the world, right? If he doesn't have a 2k now, he's taken 2 hits. He does, he has a Barto. I think we knew he had that Barto, actually. End turn. Yeah, I'll tell you what, though, the amount of times I play into Usopp, they're playing like 2 blue events. The amount of times they hit my Zoro, it's so tilting. It's so tilting. As he can't deal with this Zoro is just here. If he kills it, something better comes out, which is obviously not good. If it's just a 5, I will defend it. Purely because of the reason that if we summon, like, Luffy, and he goes Ice Age Zoro, we get hard fucked by that. We get giga fucked. I won't defend that, though. That's fine. This Sanji's not great. He's not amazing. We really swing him with Rebecca? Okay, I'll defend this one. I'm not going too low. We'll give him the Nami. That's okay. And then what's this going to be? Boy Soldier. Okay, I like it. Spicy. Spicy. We want to split our options then, right? I'm going to play Sanji plus Sanji, I think. Because then we're not getting this fucked by the Soldier. And this Sanji at least draws a card when it dies. And if this Sanji dies, who cares? We're not using this later. So this in combination with this is going to do everything else. Let's go... Using 5 Don for that, we're going to have 1 Don for fun. This is going to make that a 6. The Don for fun is going on leader. Or we can do 666. It's 666 or like 567. Do 567. I don't think they play that many 1Ks that they'd want to get rid of. Let's go 5. Yeah, a lot of 2Ks in Usopp. And a lot of their 1Ks are either searchers, blockers. Yeah, there we go. We get a 2K already. Excellent. We're going to go... We've got to play everything out, right? Yeah, that kind of sucks, but what can you do? We'll deploy this. We'll deploy this. The rested Don here. 2 rested Don here. Attack 6 on 5. If he takes this and then takes the 7, we can also attack the Rebecca. He's got a blue trigger. Gets rid of Zoro, right? Yeah, man, these events are so AIDS to play against. It's so annoying. What can you do? What can you do? At least we get him down to 1. The pressure is piling on already. You never know. This Sanji might survive. Not gonna, is it? Honestly, though, he probably should have just not used the trigger and just played this, unless he has the Rebecca Kiros Zoro combo. If he has the Rebecca Kiros Zoro combo, then so be it. It is what it is. There's the Rebecca. There's the Kiros. Here comes the Zoro. We did a very good shake of the stick. Our job next turn is to get him to 0. So then we can try and win with this. That's our job. So this is going to kill the Nami, probably. And then this is going to bounce the Sanji back to hand. I would have thought. Did we draw one? Oh, we're waiting for his Kiros effect. It should bounce the Nami, right? Okay, no, he picked up his Rebecca Searcher. That's fine too. I do think getting rid of our Nami might have been better. This should be 4 into 4. This is a mistake. We're We could protect this. I think we do, right? No, it's very expensive. Just let it go. It's not worth it. Not worth it. Wait, that should have been 4 with Rebecca into 4. And then this can't attack. It doesn't actually gain rush. It doesn't actually gain rush. So we're leading into this, right? So we're going to go with this one. Bang, bang. Catch arrested Don. Here. We do 5, 7, 9. He's got to defend a 5 and a 7. If we put it here, he's got to defend an 8. And an 11. He's never defending the 9 anyway. Let's put it here. He's got to defend this and a 7. Otherwise, well, he's probably going to lose. We know he has that Rebecca. That's fine. We eat that. He's got to defend this 7. And he's got to defend the... He doesn't defend the 7, he's got to defend the 9. So that's like... Okay, he takes the 7. Do we just win here on the spot? Maybe. I was anticipating going one more turn, right? And then winning with this after he plays down blockers. Because it's very tough for him to go for game. We have 4k counter. Plus 3 lives. And all of these were counter. Wow, yeah, he bricked. No, I'm good on the rematch. We got a 2-0. That was some nice showcasing against Usopp. Well played to our opponent. Let's move on. So, thank you for watching. How good do I think this deck is? It's definitely not tier 1. I think this could be a reasonable sort of tier 2, tier 2.5 rogue deck, though. You could absolutely win your locals with this. And I wouldn't be surprised to see someone top a regional at some point with it. I think it's really good. It's just got the same weaknesses that Red Aggro has had for a while now. Into those removal matchups, and a Doflamingo specifically. It's just a tough time. I think if we see some of the bans that people are theorizing, things like the 4-cost Law, and things like 8-cost Moria, this deck could genuinely be very good. The amount of value you get, I said before, is just insane. And it's true, you do get a lot of value. We're just kind of weak to those grindier matchups. Hey, deck's a lot of fun. Give it a go. Let me know your list if you've been playing a lot of this. Not seen many videos on the ST21 Luffy yet, but I think there's something here to be explored. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day.